So cube roots end up being slightly similar to square roots. The big difference is cube roots ultimately are best illustrated by volume, whereas square roots are um, best illustrated by area. So notice the cubes, the figures of cubes to the right there. The first cube is a volume of 1 cubic unit. The second cube is 8 cubic units. The third cube, it's got 3 by 3, 9 in the bottom layer, and then that nine's repeated for 3 more times for the overall cubic volume of 27. And then the last one is a 4 by 4 base, and that base is repeated 4 times upwards. So the overall volume there is 64. And what a cube root really is working backwards. Okay, what number would I be multiplying by itself 3 times to get a total volume there of 64? And the answer would be, well, I did 4 times 4 times 4. The cube root of 64 happens to be 4. The cube root of 27 would be a 3, 3, and 3. So it's 3. And then the example that I have written up here, um, ultimately there's 2, and then 2, and then a height of 2. So that base is 2 times 2, and then the height is 2. Ultimately, the cube root of 8 ends up being 2. I'm going to hide myself and show you some calculator stuff. And again, the cube root is the value that is multiplied by itself 3 times or cubed. It happen to be 1, 8, 27, 64, 125, 216, 343, 512, 729, and 1,000. Those are all your 1 through 10 that you should become pretty familiar with, and should be able to find some of them with mental math. I would argue, especially up to 125, which is 5 times 5 is 25. And then I've had 5 quarters once in my life. 5 times 25 is 125. The 10,000, 10 times 10 is 100 times another 10. You put another zero on, you get 1,000. However, again, calculators are going to at some point be needed to quickly find them as well, because in the real world, there's times where cube roots aren't perfect. On our Chromebook, you'll have to end up using this key here. You're going to type in 3, you'll hit that key, and then you'll type 1,000. On your phones, you would find the little 3 there, root X. You'll type in the number you want to find the cube root of, and then you're going to hit the button. So to show you how that's going to play out in a potential Khan Academy, cube root of 64. Again, this is something that I think you should be able to do mental math on. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. The answer there is going to be 4. A little bigger one. Not everyone is going to have 343 memorized, so we're going to pull up our calculator. We're going to type 3. We're going to hit n root y, and our number was 343. And I would probably split screen this myself as I'm showing you. Go ahead and hit enter, and it's 7. We can double check that real quick. 7 to the third power, so y raised up n, gets us back to that 343. 7 is the cube root of 343. So there you have it. Again, you should be able, the smaller ones, you should be able to get them with mental math. If you're struggling with some of that mental math at all, nothing wrong with grabbing a calculator, whether it's the one on your Chromebook or the one on your phone calculator. Hope that helps. Please give this Khan Academy a try.